What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris with another edition of Learning Dota 2. So who are we going to be following today? It is going to be Quartermaine who sent in this replay. He wanted to know what to do about lanes that are particularly aggressive in their pushing. It looks like he's going to go top with Navi Reband. I didn't know they disbanded. Guys, everything's bad. They're going to be going up against what looks like a Troll Warlord along with a Sven. So right off the bat, Quartermaine, I can tell you that this is not an aggressive pushing lane. Anything that happens, and whatever happens in this game, no matter what, it's not because their team is an aggressive pushing lane. Like, it gets so much worse than Troll Sven. Like, they can't really push that much. They could auto-attack the wave and everything, but that's about it. So, if you're worried about them aggressively pushing the lane, you have to worry about them pulling the aggro off. What the hell? I don't know what's wrong with that. You have to worry about them pulling the aggro off the creeps and poking you, which is what the Troll Warlord is pretty good at compared to all these other heroes. So it is going to be essentially a ranged and a melee hero on the dire side versus two melee heroes, which right off the bat means you're going to have a lane disadvantage. Combine that with the fact that they're not actually getting too much, the Radiant team, they're not getting much of the CS. It's not looking too good for them thus far. I think Quartermaine at this point, what you should have done is notice that the Slark is completely useless at last hitting and just triage the crap out of the lane. I mean, this doesn't apply to just this lane. This applies to any lane that anyone is in ever. If your quote-unquote carry has missed several last hits and where they're like easy to acquire last hits, oh, this guy's so dead. Yeah, if they miss easy to acquire last hits, then you triage the lane. You take all the last hits. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Crystal Maiden and you're protecting your Faceless Void. If he's not getting the last hits, you might as well be getting the last hits because they can't. So this is a small push, which isn't exactly the result of a huge, dedicated push. It's just the result of the enemy team that's being more aggressive. I mean, Troll now has 8 armor, 611 HP. Trading hits at this point is no longer a possibility. Slark is only level 1. He does have a stout shield, but Slark's base stats and stat growth, they're pretty damn awful. So any hope of trading hits in order to kind of equalize the health in this lane is pretty much gone. Ogre Magi was the only one who could have done it, having 6 armor, having a ton of HP. But now it's pretty much done. And especially with giving a kill to the enemies, there is a level advantage on the other end. So once that happens, the only way to come back is to either, hopefully your enemies are dumb, in which case it's easy to come back, but the tower is probably going to be your best friend. If you could get a stun, or if you could somehow bait them into into being aggressive under the tower, then that will hopefully lead you to a kill. An ideal situation would be to get support from your mid hero, and Storm Spirit is definitely a hero that can, actually help out a lane in this situation. So this isn't a heavy push lane, you could tell, because even the Ring of Basilius is turned off. If it was on, I can understand that there would be a little bit of pushing going on, but for right now, it's not exactly a heavy pushing lane. You can just tell at the amount of aggression that the enemies are putting on. I mean, Sven will have 140 mana soon enough, and you could bet he's going to go on the Slark. Add that to the fact that they're pretty much auto-attacking the lane and keeping the pressure on, forcing the Radiant team off of the lane. Oh, this is not good, Reband. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Oh, but they're going to get a kill. That's exactly what I'm talking about, except ideally without losing the Slark. I mean, level 2 Slark doesn't really do much. Level 2 Slark is pretty damn useless. So, I guess I'm going to cut this recording once the tower does in fact go down. Quartermaine, I don't think for the first blood, or for the first blood, a Fire Blast would have helped, like, at all. So, I mean, it's not exactly a hugely high damage spell. It's mostly a setup spell. So there's not much that the setup spell could be doing right now. But the lane is going to continue. Ogre Magi now does have a level advantage, or should have a level advantage. Or at least is level equalized with the other guys. I mean, Berserker Rage, level 2, this Troll Warlord isn't that bright. I mean, they're pushing the lane very aggressively just by auto-attacking. That means they're actually putting themselves in more danger of going into your tower. So, as long as the Radiant team pulls the creeps accordingly so that the creeps aren't hitting the tower, and lays down the appropriate number of stuns, and times it correctly, and tries to bait effectively, they should be fine. Although Slark has other ideas. So now it's just a 1v2. There is no way for an Ogre Magi to win a 1v2 pretty much ever. But yeah, especially a lane against a ranged hero, it's just not going to happen. What you want to have happen right here is you need teleportation support to happen. You have a Nature's Prophet, Radiant team. By the way, whenever I say you, I'm talking to the Radiant team, and whenever I say they, it's the Dire team, in case that wasn't clear. But, of course, in classic pub fashion, not a single teleportation scroll is on the map. See, right now, the Sven and Troll Warlord, these guys are easy kills. These are like two walking bags of gold that anyone could just come right up, punch the bag of gold, and then cash in. But, since Ogre Magi's left here all alone, being a melee hero, I mean, this is a free kill. What is Sven doing? You just, someone, Nature's Prophet, he's level 3. He's level 3. Teleport in. Everyone else is, he should be higher level than that. And this is going to be the death of the tower. So, unfortunately, Quartermaine, I don't think there was much you could have done this lane. You were inherently at a lane disadvantage, being up against a ranged hero in a double melee lane with a Slark, who is perhaps one of the more useless dual lane heroes, especially with another melee support. So in that sense, there wasn't much you could do. As far as laning in general, going to the bottom lane, it definitely would have done a little bit better, I think, if you had a Razor and Ogre Magi. You could actually get a lot of time for that static link damage. Slark was gonna die. He died anyway in the dual lane. It's not like you were there to adequately support him. So I think probably moving down to the bot lane, either from the get-go or once you saw the lanes, would have gotten a couple kills in the bottom lane. Therefore, I mean, kind of not wasting your early game on a wasted top lane. But aside from trading hits at the level 1 when Ogre Magi is like one of the strongest, tankiest heroes in the game, honestly I don't think there was much that could be done. I'm just trying to think if there's like anything possible at all. I mean, yeah, Slark is kind of dead weight. That's the thing with Slark. You need levels to be effective, and the Troll Warlord, you could say that, oh yeah, he's a really good carry, but that is true. I mean, he is a really good carry. But early on, Whirling Axes does do a sizable amount of damage for really, really cheap. So, yeah, Quartermaine, don't think there was much you could have done except for possibly go down to the bottom lane and just left Slark to die. I mean, he wasn't getting anything anyway. So it's just like, do you want to get nothing alone, or do you want me to share and you're getting him nothing? Not really a difficult decision, in my opinion. But I hope that was helpful to you, Quartermaine. I hope that was hopefully also helpful to anyone else who is watching. Thanks you, Quartermaine, for sending in this replay. If anyone else has anything outside of the laning, I mean, I'm good with looking at some other replays as well, then please send them in. And other than that, I hope I was of some help. Not much you could have done there, but maybe level 6 and multicast changes everything around. Okay, this is not what you want to do. Magic Wand is not what you want to do against this team. And they have like 1, 2, 3 spells, 4 spells. Yeah, it's not going to fill up very quickly, although it is a very nice and cheap item. That's going to be it, guys. GG. Oh, Reban, no! Yeah, he's dead. Go figure.